Jordan, I asked the same question of Kian. She was already a graduate transfer, and then you arrived in early August. What is it like to have two of you that are both going through the same experience? And a second part of that, how can you help this team right away? Because when you come in as a grad transfer, they're looking for you to help immediately.
Well, thank you for that question, and thank you everybody for being on here. But to answer that, I guess to go along with Kian being a grad transfer with me, it's been an amazing experience thus far, especially with having Kian here because she's able to relate to me, when we're going through things or when we're on the sideline and we're going over a new defense, we're able to talk about it and, kind of contrast and compare things that we've been through at our old schools to here. And it's just also good just to have somebody to lean on when we're going through the same things, basically.
All right, we'll take a question from Gustavo.
Jordan, what do you expect the difference going to be? You played in the Mid-American Conference, now going to play in the SEC, also face, for example, UConn. What do you expect to be the difference playing for Tennessee, playing for, I think, much harder teams? What do you expect this difference going to be?
I think that the biggest difference is going to be, the size, speed, and strength of guards. I will credit the Mid-American Conference. We did have, some great teams and great players in that conference, but I just feel like the size, the speed and the strength is going to be one of the biggest things. And I've seen that, here in practice, playing against, some of the guards on our team, like Ree and Ray, their size, Jordy, as well as, down in the post, you have those bigger post players. So, changing some things, altering some things, but I think that it's going to be a great challenge and it's going to help set me up for the next level.
Additional questions for Jordan? Will?
Yeah, Jordan, Kelly Harper mentioned that you'd be one of two players obviously running the point for Tennessee. I guess when you're talking specifically about point guard, what have been some of the challenges trying to adjust for an SEC schedule and a schedule in which you play teams like UConn and maybe some other strong teams like that?
Honestly, the biggest adjustment was, I think, initially just switching from playing that two spot to going, back to the one. I've played one my whole life until I got to college, and then that's when I started playing the two position. So just making that switch. But I feel like with this team and, with the things that we do, it hasn't been, too challenging to make that adjustment. And I feel like the coaches have helped me, pointed out things that I can do better, and they're constantly pushing me to be the best player. So I feel like going up against those bigger opponents like UConn and such, I think that I'll be ready for that.
Maria?
Jordan, as an athlete, there's been a lot of uncertainty this entire offseason about what the regular season would look like, if it would be played. How excited are y'all to have you're going to play this season? We're still waiting on a schedule, but how excited are y'all that the season is going forward, and how hard was all the uncertainty of waiting?
Yes, I'm extremely excited that, we're going to be going forward and playing this season. It's been a long, off season, being in quarantine and, everything like that. Just like, we've been in quarantine, well, at one point everybody was in quarantine. So that's what I'm speaking on. But just making that transition of being back on the court, that was one big piece and one huge piece of excitement, as well as now, really getting into the season and being able to, see it and feel it, how close it is. So.
Will Backus?
You mentioned that you played the point your whole life until switching to the two in college. I guess trying to switch back to that position, has it been kind of like riding a bike where it becomes natural after a little while, or I guess how quick has that adjustment been for you?
Yes, I definitely feel like it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you do something like that, you're not gonna forget it. I feel like the transition has, been pretty easy to get back to that, because I feel like at the two spot, that's what, helped me with my success, was being able to also play the one and play multiple positions on the floor. So making this transition back, it's been just like you said, like riding a bike.
All right, we'll go to Carolyn Peck for our final question.
Hi, Jordan. In talking about going from the two to the one, what's the biggest between those two positions?
I'm sorry, you said the biggest difference between the two positions? It broke up a little bit.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. What's the biggest difference for you going from the 2 to the 1?
The biggest difference, honestly, I wouldn't say that there's a ton. I feel like it's a little bit of a different mindset with the 1 and the 2. You know, the 1, you get your teammates going. The 2, most of the time you put your head down, you score, you get to the basket. But I feel like with, my teammates that I have now, it's been a super easy transition because I have confidence in them, that they can score and go make a play, but they also have confidence in me, to go score and make a play. So I feel like that's been, one of the things that's helped me make this transition.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.